Hey, hey. Discord. Where's Discord? Hello. Holy hell, I look over in Discord and I got more people. Hello, Discord.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, welcome, Open Pagan Church. Hope everybody has had a relatively decent week or day or whatever, wherever. Well, looks like we got Cindy, we got Clint, Lester, we got Sabs, and Tennessee Angel. Who is Tennessee Angel?
Lester's other half.
Oh!
My wife.
Good morning.
Oh! Got it. All right. What are we talking about? Anybody look at the,
Responsibility of being a pagan.
Yep. And I also want to tell everybody, if you want to be in Discord, if you're watching our pre-recorded broadcast and you'd like to be heard, Sunday mornings, 9:30 a.m. Central Time. If you don't know what Central Time is, Google it. If you don't know what time it is where you are, well, that's not my problem.
Lol.
But we have a never-expiring invite in Discord. Cindy just posted another one. I think it was Cindy. So, I know what my interpretation of a responsibility of a modern pagan is. You know, of course, we're in 2020 and we know everybody's gone batshit crazy. 2020 has gone BSC from the beginning of January. We're just traveling along, riding that horse, if you will. What are our responsibilities today? I mean, we can't really get out. We can't really do anything. The way this thing is manifesting itself, it's gotten to the point now where you really don't know the environment you can trust and the environment you can't. I watched an interview of a family night before last that a 35-year-old young man that thought the whole pandemic was bullshit. He went to a COVID-19 party and died 3 days later.
Yep.
He looked at the nurse and he said, "Ma'am," he said, "I think I made a mistake." Duh. What can we do as pagans? I mean, nowadays in 2020, I'm not even gonna go, off of the last generation, if you will. Where are we going to go from here? What difference can the pagan community make? What should we be doing right now? Any ideas? Speak up.
All right. I guess with us, of course, we have to do the spiritual part. Keep everybody there. Maybe connect with some of them that the spiritual part will keep them calmer, or some way to focus besides going out and protesting and all that stuff going on. Another way is just protect, remind people. That's like I was in Walmart yesterday. I said, there's a lady, a worker going around with no mask on. I was going, and I stopped one of the fellow workers and asked, why didn't she have a mask? Is she got a medical problem? And they told me, she can't do a mask, full face mask or anything, so it's her. She'll panic.
That's a nice cop out.
Yeah, nice cop out, but.
And I
I
damn
think
sure
she would panic even more if she couldn't breathe.
Morning, Jamie. Yeah, absolutely. But okay, let's not even get into the whole mask debate because I say just hook me up to a fresh air hose, put me in a body condom, and call it done.
Well, that's like I was at the store, doing that, and this lady was like freaking out. She was just standing there and she was like jittery and everything. I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "I don't know if I can do this. I can do this." I said, "What's wrong?" "This mask. I don't want to take it off, but I can't handle it." So, I talked to her a little bit and calmed her down. I said, "You have a blessed day." She said, "Thank you." That's one way of helping.
Well, you know, it's kind of like I wrote in the description. What are the responsibilities of a pagan in the modern world? Um, do we think the responsibilities have changed from what they used to be?
No.
What about, is there any difference? Is there any freaking difference in just being a good person? I mean, do you have to be pagan to be a good person?
What was that? No.
No.
Huh?
Uh,
Les- Lester, you're quiet.
Lester's playing his game, and Sab's light is on, but I don't hear anything coming from her.
Yeah, I don't know why my light's on. My phone's being stupid.
Ah, but Sabs, we like your light on. I think somebody said somewhere if the light's off, it means nobody's home. It's like, nope, we just all turned the damn lights off so everybody would think we were gone. But seriously, whatever happened to just being a good person? I mean, you don't have to
I
be.
went out with the Stone Ages.
Yeah, you're right there, brother.
You know, yesterday I was having a conversation with someone and I said, it's gotten to the point where I believe this world is a place of, yeah, well, if it isn't me, screw them.
But isn't that?
If we
Go ahead.
It's like if we tell people, you know, this is going to do X, Y, Z, and it's going to protect other people, they're like, yeah, screw them. If this is going to hurt, if this is illegal and this is only going to hurt the big business, well, screw them. If we're going to do this or whatever it is, everyone sees the world as a very personal, selfish kind of place. But yet, no one will even protect themselves at this point, and it's just a really weird time period.
Well, I was always raised where you take care of your home, you take care of your family, but you also take care of your neighbor.
Exactly.
And as anybody who can watch our broadcast tell, I'm not a young fella. Um, I'm damn near 60. But even today, now granted, I don't hang out with the neighbors around us, but I know their names. I know some of the things they're involved in and some of the things they're interested in. And I know that our neighbors are relatively good people. And before we moved in with the moms, they would help them where they could, and that speaks volumes. But whatever happened to just really being a good person, like Lester said, it went out with the Stone Age. But hasn't mainstream society for hundreds of years taught to pay attention to your cubicle and keep your nose out of everybody else's cubicle? The cubicle mentality, it only matters about you. Am I saying that wrong?
No, you're
Nope.
saying it right.
Unfortunately, that's the way it's got to be nowadays because, like you said, there's no good people around anymore most of the time.
But
I would disagree.
do we have to follow that suit?
No, we don't.
That's the whole point.
In fact, we can be the change we want to see.
Yes, thank you. I mean, we have to admit and accept that what's going on, I don't have the education to come up with a fix. I don't have a fix for it. But when I do have to go out in public, I have my mask on and I make sure that people know that I'm smiling when I look at them and say, "How are you today? How are you holding up?" And you know some of the weirdest damn looks I get when someone walks past me in a store and I say, "Hi, how are you?" They're like, "What?" And I'm found scratching my head going, "What the hell?" I mean, we went to, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Restore, uh, Restore. It's a part of Habitat for Humanity. Um, the wife and I masked up and went to Restore yesterday and got a little cabinet to put in our kitchen so we'd have some damn drawers instead of stuff stacked everywhere. But anyway, I counted 8 people with their mask down on their chin. And of course, all the employees but one had mask on, and that's okay. I'm not getting into the whole mask thing. What I'm trying to do is make a point that people don't, like you say, people don't care about people.
People also have been told from the highest points, and I'm not getting political, but they've been told from the highest points that all of this is fake and you guys are being duped and lied to and whatever. And so they're just being rebellious to be rebellious. The bottom line is they truly don't know anybody that's had it. I've known 3 people that have had it.
Yeah.
4, 2 of them have died. One of the other people out of those 4 was in ICU with a ventilator, and they finally had to put in a tracheotomy. The man was extremely, extremely sick. And then I know someone else that had it, but still has respiratory problems 4 months later, even though they're not in the hospital anymore. It
Yeah.
is crazy. And people, unless you know someone or have been personally affected, it doesn't affect me.
Cubicalism, cubicle mentality. If it doesn't affect my front door, then I don't care.
The interesting thing is that I've always been affected by this, like, emotionally, and then I knew people that had it, but recently I started to have a runny nose and a slight cough. And I have to tell you that the panic that goes through you, like, okay, well, I hate coughing anyway. Oh my God, could this be it? Could I, like, be dying? And what would happen? I've been told that the feeling is like you're drowning
Yes.
and you can't fix it.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only it lasts for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah. But let's step aside of the let's step aside of the pandemic time that we're in at the time of this video, and let's look at the human factor.
Oh boy.
How do we get back there? How do we get back to being human?
Yeah. That's what I was ask. You know,
It
what's modern day nowadays?
Well, let me ask you a question. Can I, meaning me, Don, tell you whether or not you're a good person?
No.
Okay? So, to answer your own question would be to look at the person that's looking back at you in the mirror and say, what can I do to make a difference in my little tiny space that I take up?
I disagree with you, and I'm going to stop you in just a second because I want to just throw in for conversation that yes, you can. And I think you should. I think if I'm being a bitch or an asshole, I think you should have every right to say, you know what? You're not being a good human right now. I think
I think we lost Jamie.
Her phone went boom.
What happened? Don't
I didn't do nothing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do
Lag.
it.
Yeah, this is lagging.
Well, I mean,
No, she blew up her phone.
Oh, yeah. All right,
What-
back to it.
am I the only person that hears the beep?
No, I hear it too.
All right, good.
I hear it.
Wanted to be sure I hadn't completely lost my mind. Not totally.
What, this beep?
Yeah, that beep. Are you doing that?
Yep.
Cynthia?
That's my diabetic. Don't you dare call me Cynthia. I will come up your nose and kick your freaking neck.
Put a mask on.
Cynthia Renee Waters.
Clinton Wayman. Clinton Wayman.
Go ahead. I'm not afraid of that name. Any of
Neither
it.
am I.
All right, now, brothers and sisters
Grr.
of the biological type.
play nice.
No, I agree with.
Never.
I agree with Jamie though. She's right. If I've got a good friend that's being an asshole, I'm going to tell them. But the point I'm trying to make is only I can change me. Right?
Yes, but outside pressure also does a little bit of change all by itself.
You know, it's not as active as it used to be, Jamie. I mean, it is for you because you respect the opinions of those that you call friend, and it does for the other people that are in Discord because I know all of them pretty much personally, and I would imagine with Sabs it's pretty much the same way. We respect those that we care about to tell us when we're being an asshole. But at the end of the day, I've got to be comfortable with looking at me in the mirror going, you know, you're doing everything you can. And I think there are...
If someone says something to any of you in public that you don't necessarily like, do you remember somebody saying it later?
It depends. Most of the time I blow it off.
And never think about it again?
A lot of times, no, I don't.
Okay, because I'm the opposite. If somebody says something to me, I may not agree with them, but that stuck somewhere in my head because you can't unring a bell and you can't unhear something. So the next time somebody says to me, let's say you're walking through the store and I do something or say something to you that's inappropriate or whatever, and you say to me, you know what, I don't like that. That didn't feel very good. That wasn't very nice. And you don't have to be a pain or be pointedly upset. But if you say to someone, you know, that wasn't very nice, and you kept walking, the next time somebody says that your words come back next and like, well, I heard that before. Somebody said that to me before. And at some point, you have to start self-checking.
I just always believed that I should self-check 24/7.
We should, but there are people that haven't been because we've been in that cubicle mentality, and until we tell them, guess what, you live in a society, and I don't appreciate your behavior, and you hear it enough times, maybe we can start affecting change outside ourselves as well a little bit.
Well, you know, we're talking about mainstream modern society in 2020. Let me tell you what happens when you do that, because we used to be able to do that. But what happens when you do that is what happened to a woman and her husband the other day. A 15-year-old girl shoulder bumped a woman walking out of the store, and the woman said, well, that was rude, and the girl went off on her and started cussing her and calling all sorts of racist names. Now, it isn't important. It's not important who was what color. What's important is the human factor. Okay? Now listen close. The 15-year-old girl started cussing the older woman, calling her a bitch and all kinds of other names. The parents of the 15-year-old girl did nothing to quell the rant of the little girl. The mama of the 15-year-old girl gets in the other woman's face and starts calling her all sorts of names. The woman puts her hand up and says, "Look, this is crap. Just walk away. Alright? Just walk away." And the couple who was accosted goes to their vehicle. They get in their vehicle and try to back out. The mother of the 15-year-old girl starts banging on the back window of the goddamn vehicle, cussing her at the top of her lungs. So the woman in the vehicle and the husband in the vehicle both get out brandishing 44 Magnums.
Oh, Lord.
Now, they're handling them correctly. And they are telling these people, back away from my personal vehicle. I'm trying to leave. Guess who was arrested?
The people with the guns.
That is so just.
The people with the guns in the vehicle that were trying to get the hell out of the situation. Nothing was said to the woman of the 15-year-old child who should have been reprimanded for being disrespectful to another human being. Removing race, removing color, removing bullshit. Let's be a good human, shall we?
That is so.
But that's what happens. That's what happens in the world today when someone speaks up, when someone else's child is being a little shit, or if somebody else is being a little shit, or if somebody says something to me that I might find mildly offensive, which I really could care less. But when
That would take a.
Go ahead.
Usually that would take a lot to say something that I'm going to feel horribly offended by, because I don't get offended easily.
Right. But your question was,
I agree.
your point was that people don't speak up. Hell no, they don't speak up. They're afraid they're going to get attacked, arrested, shot, beat up, or called a racist. Or called something else. Well, let's think about this from a pagan philosophy, because we know the Christians aren't doing anything about it but screaming at each other, shooting each other, and using God as an excuse to put on a party and put on some kind of crap. But let's come at it from a pagan point of view. When I have been shoulder bumped, and I have been shoulder bumped at my age by rude little shit, I smile, I look at them and say, "Excuse me, have a great day," and I turn around and walk off. And it absolutely, completely diffuses their little shithead.
It goes back to the comment that I was making a couple weeks ago about people, if you call them on their stuff, which is ultimately what you did by saying it in that way, they don't know how to do that. Like the lady, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, did you drop your candy on the floor? You can passively and peacefully make a point without having to criticize directly. I think that was perfectly said.
But in 2020, they're not going to do that. Too many people are looking for a fight. I'm not going to give you one.
Nope,
Exactly.
not worth it.
I quit carrying a firearm 30 years ago. I don't even carry a pocket knife anymore because you can get arrested in today's time for even carrying a pocket knife.
All right.
Irregard.
Well, I gotta get dressed and we gotta take care of some stuff. So I'll talk to y'all later.
All right,
All right.
Fabs. Have a good
See
day,
you,
hon.
see you later.
See you later.
Bye, Cindy.
No, that was Sabs, not me.
Oh, sorry. Bye.
But what can we do? Um, for me,
I think what I was trying to say in the way you said it is to say that I think you could have just walked away and not said anything, in which I think you're just adding to the problem. But by politely saying to shithead teenager, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump you," and keep going, or bringing it politely to somebody's attention like that without being critical, you're creating change outside yourself too.
that's the whole thing. Change starts with me, the person that looks back at me in the mirror. Do I want to take said teenager and shake them until their brains fall out and teach them some manners? Yes. But why? I mean, unless parents start to be parents and discipline unruly children, which the government tells them they can't do, unruly children are going to become unruly adults. So where does change take place but in the house? I mean, as a quote elder in the pagan community, my recommendation is simple. If you see a piece of paper on the floor, pick it up, throw it in the trash. If you see a piece of trash on the sidewalk and you don't want to touch it with your hands, that's what they make grabbers for. I see several people that are carrying them with them nowadays.
Yep.
And if you see somebody that needs some help, be very careful these days. Don't just walk up and start helping them. They'll shoot you. Walk up with your mask on and say, "Do you need some help?"
We've suddenly reverted to the wild, wild west all over again.
Yeah, sadly, we have.
That's like in the store yesterday when we were getting stuff. Two ladies couldn't reach the top shelf, and I go up to them and say, "Can I help you for a minute?" You know, and they back up and get the thing down, put it in their buggy, and we go on.
But if we're used to, when I was coming up, if you saw somebody on the side of the road with a flat tire, you pulled over and helped.
Right.
And you shook hands when it was done, and you may have helped somebody on their day. Now, if you pull over to help somebody change a flat tire, you're liable to either get hit with a tire iron or shot. Okay. So what I've started doing, if I'm going to pull over at all, I pull over and roll down my window and say, "Hey, do you need some help?" And most of the time, just by asking someone if I can help you with that, believe it or not, you may have made their day.
Absolutely.
But also the problem I've seen is when someone says, "How can I help you?" and when they're told how they can help them, the retort is, "I'll have to get back to you later, I don't have time." Or people will say, "I will be over to help you with that," and they never show up.
Humans are forgetting that we are a herd mentality kind of species. We cannot and do not survive without other humans.
For the most part, you're right, we can't. And that's kind of what Lester and I was talking about this morning before the broadcast. Humans don't hug anymore. Humans are afraid to hug. Sandy was going on about something. I told Esther, I said, give that woman a hug for me. So, I mean, hey, I sure did, he says. I mean, I don't blame people for being afraid to give someone a hug nowadays. So let's think about the mental overload we're in at this point. I sit in the same chair in the same office to do these broadcasts that I sit in from 4:45 a.m. until sometimes 4:10, 4:15 p.m. with except the occasional when I have time to get up and move around. 5 days a week. And then a lot of times on Saturday I may be back in the office doing maintenance on servers or something of that nature. I have not been to a circle. I've not been to a pagan gathering since the last Samhain gathering we went to down in Liberty, or I'm sorry, down in Winning with Cindy and them. Except for the one, I think that, yeah, the one we went to a little bit later at Clint's. That was after that, wasn't it, Clint?
Yep, it was.
Are you gonna tell me I have to start doing them again?
No, because I got no place to do them either. And I wouldn't be
Neither
able to.
do I.
I wouldn't be able to do a safe one anyway.
No, that's I can't. I have the circle and everything, but I can't do it right now because of Paul. We've got to be in quarantine now until the 23rd. I mean, yeah, 23rd.
Longer than that, kid.
No. He's got surgery on the 23rd. We have doctor's appointments and stuff, but I'm canceling them and scheduling because I don't want to go out of the house till after his procedure.
But see, we're all sitting here saying the same thing.
Yeah, we're all sitting saying we're afraid to do anything.
I had to tell my 14-year-old daughter that she would not be able to attend her freshman year in high school, which is a rites of passage for most young teenagers. Their first year in high school as a freshman. I had to tell her that she would not be able to go because of the dangers of the pandemic that we're in at the moment. Now, granted, my daughter being who she is, she got it, she understood it, she didn't like it, and we all kind of cried about it a bit because she's been looking forward to her freshman year in high school for the last 5 years that I know of.
Is the school going to give the classes?
Yes. The schools are opening. By order of mandate.
There's money involved.
Well, it's higher than that. By order of the mandate of the federal government, schools will either have to open or they will have to fight for their funding. We don't care if they don't care if there's a pandemic. They don't care if people are getting sick and dying. You're going to open those schools because we want the money. So the schools and the local government of the local states and cities are telling people you have options. You have homeschool, you have register for digital education, which is what we did for Kaya. We registered her for digital education, so she'll be doing digital education, homeschool, and tutor.
Wow.
But still, she's sequestered to the house.
She has no friends come over or anything?
What question did you just ask, Cindy?
No. Nothing?
I mean, if a friend did come over, they'd have to stand out in the driveway and they'd have to holler at each other from the porch. So the whole point of the topic this morning, responsibilities of pagans in the modern world, we have our responsibilities. We need to we need to pay attention to the things we're saying to other people, both in chat. I'm careful what I say in these broadcasts. I'm careful what I post. I'm careful what I email. I want to exhibit respect of not only of myself, but of people out there that are in a hell of a lot worse shape than I am.
Right.
So the responsibilities of pagans, most especially today, is the same responsibilities of a good human being. If you can safely do something for someone else, offer yourself to do it. If you can't, then at least be, I mean, come on, at least be on the other side of a telephone to be a voice for someone that's having trouble. Be a positive enforcement voice on our social networks. Be a positive enforcement voice in our social chats. Holy shit, people, get out in your front yard and plant a flower. Morning, Lonnie. I mean, if you want to know what pagans can do in the modern world today, get out in your front yard and plant a flower. Pagans are earth-based. We're tree huggers. Go out and hug a tree. Granted, up where I'm at, it was 101 yesterday. So if you're going to go outside, you need to find a tree pretty quick so you can get under it. Plant something.
Are there trees in Texas?
Yes.
Why would you
They're
have
called cactus.
Texas has some quite beautiful trees when people leave them the hell alone.
Yeah, I found out there's a tree back in the park here that's way in the back. If you walk down the paths and stuff, that's over 400 years old.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
Wow.
Nope.
How did you come to this?
By a arborist that is a friend of mine that I talked to online.
Wow.
Very few people know about it.
Sorry, I had to get a Dr. Pepper. So, see, Lonnie says, plant a food garden and share the bounty with your neighbors. Thank you. Yes. Me, I have a black thumb. I can't plant shit. So, what do y'all think? What can we do? What difference can we make? Jamie, I'll have to look at the picture later, huh?
It was just a picture of my desk, or excuse me, my deck here in the Garden of Eden.
I'll bet. We tried a couple of times up here where we're at. We tried a couple of times to have a raised planter, a raised flower bed, and it gets so damn hot up here that aloe vera will not even grow in our front yard.
Wow.
We even had some different types of cactus die planting them around the house and around, well, okay, hell, it gets drier than hell here. We'll plant cactus.
Do you water them?
Well, you're only supposed to water cactus occasionally, but yeah, we follow the recommended. But the problem is when the temperature reaches over 100 degrees up here, cactus are like to hell with you.
Especially baby ones.
Yeah, I mean, we even had a couple of them that were what, foot and a half tall. So
I'll come and visit y'all in like December.
It's still hot.
The only time I went to Texas, I have to agree with you, it was December 20th, and it was really hot.
Yeah, yeah. But I totally agree with Lonnie. If you can, if you have a green thumb and you have a place where you can plant and fertile ground, hell, grow a food garden, share it with your neighbors. For that matter of fact, if you get grocery deliveries and you have some extras, there's a big thing going around right now. I think it's called a free access pantry. It's a box with an open door where people can put in canned goods and non-perishables and stuff like that, where other people can come along, stuff like corn and what have you. Other people come along that need it, they'll take a couple of 3 or 4 cans out, take just exactly what they need, and other people come along and put some more stuff in it. I thought that was just the coolest damn idea. I'm not used to people being this quiet.
Yeah. Lester, you here?
Lester's playing his game.
I'm trying to be really positive because I know places up here like that, but then people go there and completely clean it out.
Well,
I'm being attacked at the moment, guys.
all right,
No.
all right.
His
Get-
game, guys. His
Get
game.
him, Lester. Get him,
His
Lester.
game.
I know. Yeah, I got
Well, just gotta verify that.
it.
Could be attacked by Sandy, you never know.
But Jamie, you and I both know you can't fix stupid.
No.
Right?
Stupid's gonna be stupid. You can try and educate them, but
But if I'm doing what I can to make a difference, and you guys are doing what you can to make a difference, there's going to be a couple of people that are going to see the things we're doing to make a difference, and they're going to jump in and help.
true.
You know, I was going to say something about that with your 15-year-old conversation a little bit ago. You got to ask yourself, where did they learn that?
Yeah, from home. But parents are not parents, and we all know this. We've seen this since the 60s and 70s when the federal government decided to become parents and tell parents they couldn't discipline their kids. Now, that's another rabbit hole I don't want to go down. But still, case come to point. We know that human beings are herd mentality. We know this. We know that most human beings are sheeple. We know this. So if as many of us as possibly can, show the other herd and the other sheeple that there's another way. One or two are going to get the idea. Maybe not a whole bunch, but there's going to be those that are going to get the idea, and maybe they're going to get out and they're going to plant a food garden and share. Maybe they're going to get out and somebody that's a carpenter in the area can build an open food pantry, and maybe somebody's gonna come along and put some food in it. A little sign. Take only what you need and give the rest. Maybe I'm an old codger that's nothing but a dreamer, but the world is built on dreams. I would think, right? No?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, the responsibilities of modern day pagans is the same damn thing the responsibility was 100 years ago for modern day pagans. It's just a harder time. I mean, yeah.
Well, it sounds sort of whimsical, but you're right in saying that if I do it and even one person gets it, and that one person does it, and one other person gets it at some point somewhere in history, we might actually come back to being human.
Jamie, when you and I started talking about 20 years ago, and you asked me why the hell I was running a pagan church, you remember that conversation? And I told
No.
you then, if I can reach one person out of 20, and if that person can reach one person out of 20, and somebody else can reach one person out of 20, the dominoes start to fall. Granted,
Well, the other interesting part of something that happens when you do that is you feel good, so it affects you positively as well as the other person.
right. We know these are mentally, physically, and emotionally troubling times. Divorce rates are going through the roof. Environmental abuse is going through the roof. Social unrest is going through the roof. Somewhere, somehow, I can't speak for everybody else, but I am going to be the calm in my storm. When people come to me online and they're just like all completely flitterpated and have absolutely lost their mind, I'm going to hope to stay calm and say, why? I understand, but why? We know the bad that's going on right now. But be the calm in your own storm. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely.
So, drawing to a close, we're about out of time. The responsible...
No.
Huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just saying responsibility, just do what you can. I mean, there's people who listen, and there's some that won't. Give it your best try.
My responsibility begins with me.
Right.
You know, come time for my daughter to get out in the world, she's at least going to have the tools required to do what she needs to do. Now, whether or not she uses those tools and how she uses them, that's up to her. But it's just like with anything else. If you have a gathering of people, make that gathering of people produce something positive and produce something that is well-meaning. And it's like Jamie said, if you're doing something that makes you feel good about yourself and it's helping someone else, that's important. Our responsibilities have not changed, people. The way we do it has changed. If you're a leader in the pagan community and you're watching these videos, the way you do it has changed. That's what we got internet for. We don't need internet to spread drama. Ah, damn, there's enough of that going on. Let's use internet to spread support and wisdom. Let's use internet to say, hey, if you need to talk, if you're at your wit's end and you don't know which way to go, I'll listen. I may not can fix it, but sometimes if somebody just has a friendly voice on the other end of the line, sometimes it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, we don't have.
That's why I call you, Don.
Yeah, I mean that's why we all call each other, and I'm glad to help.
Right.
You know, if nothing else, if we use drama to stir drama to keep the shit going, then we're no better than anybody else out there that's spreading the bullshit. But if we reach out and say, okay, I know you're having a rough go of it. I know there's problems going on in your world that you just don't quite get. I'll be that ear. You know, if you're not comfortable talking on the internet or you're not comfortable calling me, my typing sucks, but you know, we can chat. I'm happy to help where I can. And I'll tell you straight up, I don't have the magic fix. Never have, never will. But I listen. Maybe.
You told me 20 years ago you were going to work on that.
Yeah, I still haven't found that damn wand. Somebody keeps changing the wand that's required with the magic fix, and I just hadn't found the damn thing. But anyway, let's, you know, like I say, our responsibilities haven't changed, folks. The way we do it has changed. The way we go about it has changed. Nobody has the magic fix. I think the only true magic fix is to stay true to ourselves, stay true to each other, and make a difference in your home, and make a difference in your neighbors, and maybe somebody else will see you're making a difference, and maybe they'll go, I can do that. Who knows? Just remember, our responsibilities haven't changed. Just the way we do them has changed.
Great goal for the week.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, listen, you guys have a great week, or have a great day, evening, or what the hell ever. Have a good day. We'll catch you next time here on Open Pagan Church.